There are quite a number of things a pilot can do to avoid being shot out of the sky. Some of them involve nothing more than a little forethought and planning. These are known as passive defenses. Other defensive measures demand action on the part of the pilot. These are known as active defenses. Click an option button to learn about defensive tactics. Passive defense measures are mostly common-sense precautions which can be taken by a pilot with little or no effort. These make the pilot less vulnerable to enemy missiles by avoiding detection. When traveling to and from the engagement area, use a stealthy approach. Keep the plane at a low altitude and a low speed. This makes you much harder to detect. In addition, try to remain aware of what is going on around you. Keep an eye on your radar systems and plot your course well in advance to avoid flying over potential trouble areas. Preparing for problems in advance is much more effective than simply reacting to problems after it may already be too late. Click an option button to learn about defensive tactics. The TWOS is one of the most important defensive systems in the F-14. It is located in the front seat cockpit in the lower right. Your plane's position is at the exact center. The top of the display always represents 12 o'clock directly in front of you, and the bottom always represents 6 o'clock directly behind you. The maximum display range of the TWOS is 40 nautical miles, and each circle represents an increment of 10 nautical miles. When ground-based radar is searching for you, this audio warning is heard in the cockpit and the TWOS flashes in the direction of the radar emission. When you are being tracked by ground-based radar, a square icon appears on the TWOS display showing the radar's position. Inside the square icon is a number indicating the type of radar in use. The list of radar types is found in the manual on page 111. When a ground radar locks onto you and launches a missile, a smaller square representing the missile appears over the large one. Enemy aircraft radars appear on the TWOS only after they have locked onto your plane. Aircraft radar sources appear as a diamond icon. The number in the icon indicates the type of radar in use. The list of radar types and the aircraft that use them is on page 111 of the manual. Aircraft icons don't flash when a missile is launched, but it is safe to assume that a missile has been launched soon after the enemy locks on. Air-launched radar-guided missiles are shown on the TWOS as small, unnumbered squares. They appear as soon as they are launched. Because heat-seeking missiles don't emit a radar signature, they do not appear on the TWOS. Click an option button to learn about defensive tactics. When all options are set to the easiest level, your radar intercept officer controls the launch of electronic countermeasures automatically. However, you still have the option to launch chaff and flares manually. The F-14 is equipped with two types of missile decoys: chaff to decoy radar-guided missiles, and flares to fool heat seekers. Chaff is stored within dispensers inside the plane. Each time you deploy chaff, a cloud of radar-reflecting metal strips is released into the air. This is designed to fool the enemy radar by cluttering it with hundreds of false images. You have a total of 18 bundles of chaff during each mission. Press the C key now to deploy chaff. Usually, chaff is deployed as soon as a launch is detected. This has the possibility of breaking radar lock. If this doesn't work, wait until the missile is 3 to 5 kilometers away. Begin evasive maneuvers and deploy more chaff. Flares are designed as countermeasures against heat-seeking missiles. They are small but powerful heat sources which burn for 5 to 10 seconds after release. The heat source produced by the flare hopefully fools the heat seeker into following it instead of you. You have a total of 12 flares available during each mission. Press the F key now to launch a flare. Heat-seeking missiles are difficult to deal with because they don't appear on the TWOS. When a heat seeker is launched, you receive this audio warning. The range of most heat seekers is limited, so the missile is most likely very close when you receive the warning. Begin launching flares as soon as you get the warning. It is best to combine the launch of a flare with evasive maneuvers to achieve the best chance of evading the missile. Once the flare burns out, the missile may reacquire you if you haven't maneuvered out of its detection path. Click an option button to learn about defensive tactics. Radar jamming is a function of the Tactical Early Warning System, or TEWS. It is activated by pressing the J key. Once active, the jammer automatically counters radar emissions directed at your plane. Press the J key now to activate the jammer. Jamming can affect radar in two ways. Passive jamming overloads the radar signal with white noise. This hides the aircraft's radar signature amidst a background of static. Active jamming returns a false radar signal which shows the plane to be in a position other than where it really is. Before enemy radar locks on, the TEWS jammer uses passive jamming. Once the radar is tracking your plane, active jamming is used. The major drawback of the jammer is that it creates a lot of noise. Even though your precise position cannot be easily determined, the jammer is like a beacon which clearly shows your general location. Continuously using the jammer simply broadcasts your position to the enemy, so use it sparingly. Click an option button to learn about defensive tactics. The same maneuvers shown in the Basic Fighter Maneuvers tutorial can be applied to evading missiles. However, missiles are difficult to avoid since they are faster and can withstand higher G-forces. Due to the high speeds involved, you will most likely only have time to make one maneuver. The best way to defeat an incoming missile's tracking is to keep it at a 90-degree angle to your flight path. When you are being tracked by radar-guided missiles, watch the TEWS. Turn the F-14 so that the missiles are approaching directly from the right or left. Wait until the missile is within 5 nautical miles and begin your evasive maneuvers. Click an option button to learn about defensive tactics.